going to show you a technique now just with some glycerin. This is just glycerin from High Street Chemist, nothing special. I've had this one years. I've used it for Sheena's faux leather techniques and lots of other things, and I'm still only halfway down, so you don't need a lot at all. So I've just got a little pipette here to put some of my glycerin out on. So got a piece of my watercolour card again, and then for this I'm using a round distress tool or inked tool, and I always recommend keeping your ink pads separately to your normal ink pads, because with the glycerin they will have some residue left on them, so that's why I put them as glycerin ink pads. So I've got one here of each of the colours, so let's have a blue there and a pink. In fact, I might just use two colours this time. Okay, so I won't use that one. I'm just going to open my glycerin and put a tiny little speck of glycerin on there. So just a tiny little blob. Don't need much at all, and you will still see a residue on your ink pad. So let's start with the pink. Okay, so I've got my pad on there. First thing I'm going to do is to really work the glycerin into my ink pad. So I've got that nicely pushed in. Then pick up my sparkle pen colour and then just gradually bring it over onto my paper. Now with this technique, I think this gives it a sort of chalk effect, if you like. If you're a person that struggled with your distress inks, this is a great way of blending, because you never get any of those horrible hard lines. So let's take that pad off now and go in with my blue. Again, I'm going to do the same, get that on there properly. Do the same again, pick up my glycerin first, work it into your sponge so it's all nicely worked in, then pick up that colour. I'm just going to turn my cardstock round and then blending in. Can you see you're not getting those hard lines? And then you can start going over the two colours. Again, think about the colours you're using. I know these colours are going to complement each other because you look at the colour wheel, but can you see how this blends in? And then what I like to do is to go back again with my initial colour, because can you see here where it's blended through? Just smooth that line and it goes away. You can see a little fingerprint there. Because we're losing glycerin, you are going to get that. That's why I'm trying to hold it with my nails, but I did have a fingerprint, but I could go back over there. But can you see now how smooth that blend looks? It's a little bit shiny still because that glycerin is wet, so you do need to let your glycerin just dry off. So if I bring one in from my finished book so you can see what that's going to look like. So this is the glycerin technique. Okay, so you can see once that glycerin's dry, you still do get that sparkle coming through. I hope the camera's picking it up. Very subtle, very soft, but it looks like a chalk effect, totally different to anything we've done so far. So that is the glycerin technique.